Hey y'all, welcome back to another live walk show. And actually I had and I've rescheduled it for Saturday evening, but the timepieces for tomorrow live show. So we'll be doing another one of those from the studio. And by the way, if you missed out, if you didn't catch the last night's timepieces for tomorrow live show, be sure to head on over to timepiecesfortomorrow.com and check out the previously recorded version. Had a couple really good guests, had Trevor and Hybrid Life. It was a really good show. We had a lot of fun. So we'll be doing another one of those from the studio tomorrow night. This is just, again, it's just a casual get out and try to burn some fat show. So that's all this is. But yeah, we're gonna be a big show in the studio tomorrow night. And just wanted to get on and talk about a few things. I got some really good news, huge news for the channel actually. And that I've got a lot of coins. I got some coins, I got some coin videos in motion. If you haven't, several years ago, I was really big into reviewing coins. And I've decided to, in response to popular request, I'm getting back into that. So we're gonna have a ton of coin reviews, silver coins, maybe I'll get some gold coins, just a variety of different coins, obviously filmed in a lot better quality than I had in the past, because historically when I did coin videos, I just had an old camera and poor lighting in a bathroom. So now the quality is going to be amplified. So I'm excited to share those coin videos with everyone. And I'm probably going to post, I'll see how my workflow goes, but I'm going to try to post some of those this evening. So I know I'm excited about it. And let's see. So what's everybody up to? We got folks tuning in here into this live stream. Man, feeling good. Got the backpacking videos. Got a lot of those coming in the queue. It's getting to be that time of year again. If you've watched my channels, you know that I don't do backpacking in warm weather. There's too many snakes, there's too many spiders, and most importantly, it's just too hot. But it's about to be the time where, it dips below, it's gonna start dipping into the 50-degree Fahrenheit range at night. And that's acceptable. I mean, I like it just blistering cold. Check out the backpacking in the winter in the Smoky Mountains. That was cold, man. It actually got so cold at one point I couldn't even feel my feet. Now, obviously, that could be dangerous because you can experience what's called hypothermia, and in extreme conditions, you may lose your toes or your fingers, or who knows. I mean, it can be dangerous. But yeah, very cold weather backpacking is my favorite thing. So I'm gonna be doing a lot more of that and just all kinds of good stuff. What's everybody up to? We got everybody tuning in. Got a quiet crowd tonight, man. This is a live show. Need to perk up and be chatty. I mean, you don't have to, but it's better if you are. At Home with Tom and Rhonda Howard. Hello, At Home with Tom and Rhonda Howard. That's a cool. So you're at home. So what? Tell me about yourself. What kind of videos do you like? What do you like to? What are your hobbies? It's a live show. Anything you type, we can chat about in real time. So yeah. And speaking of that, tomorrow and you can find the link to tomorrow's live show on the main page of youtube.com/IrixGuy, or just head on over to timepiecesfortomorrow.com or irixguy.com and you can find it there. If you want to be a guest when I host the live show tomorrow night, I'll post the Skype link. So if you want to join in, face on video or audio only, it's all good. Always appreciated. So yeah, that's going to be tomorrow night. But yeah, this is just I always like to do these walk shows, just walking around, poor quality camera angle, but, just really getting to interact with the audience and read and respond to your questions and comments as you do them. And, also the super chats, if you choose to super chat, there'll be some sort of celebratory action, something exciting. So, that's completely optional, but it's always appreciated. Yep. So, man, there's a lot of traffic. At home, we have horses, English cream golden retrievers, ducks, chickens, and turkeys. That sounds good, man. It really does. It sounds great. Yeah, I like, speaking of that, oh yeah. Speaking of turkey, well, it's not actually turkey, but it's beef. I've got some beef jerky coming. And this beef jerky is going to be probably the hottest beef jerky I've ever had. It's all about our lives and all our friends. Very cool. I'll have to, I'm on my mobile device right now, but when I get back to the studio, I'm definitely going to have to subscribe to your channel, man. Sounds exciting. Yep, so I'm just walking through the abandoned parking lots of the world and chatting with y'all. That's cool, man. So what do you do with the turkeys? Do you eat them, or do you, that sounds really tasty. It's immediately what I think about. Turkey bacon too. I know it sounds kind of weird, but with all of this inflation, getting a pack of pork bacon now is like, for not even just a very small package of the thick cut bacon is like over $12 US. It's ridiculous. But did you know that you can get turkey bacon still at a somewhat reasonable price? And honestly, I never thought I would like turkey bacon, but if you fry it up, it can be really good. Brad Allen, good day from Sydney, Australia. Where are you walking? We can only see your feet. Haha. Yeah, just walking through some abandoned fields and abandoned parking lots. That would be great. Everything on the farm is strictly pets unless we have to down our numbers. It's a pet farm. Very cool. So yeah, I guess you go to the store for your turkey bacon then. You don't go out in the backyard. Yeah, I love all bacon too, man. But I tell you, bacon's not complete without a fresh tomato and mayonnaise. Add the bread if you want to. Make a BLT. You'd have to add lettuce. Or you can just do it like a boss and just eat tomato and mayonnaise, sea salt, freshly ground pepper, and bacon, whether it be turkey bacon or pork bacon. I don't discriminate. I like turkey bacon and I like pork bacon. Pork bacon's my favorite, but turkey bacon is it's an affordable alternative. That's what I'll say. And actually, I think it's less unhealthy than regular bacon. And honestly, I don't think bacon's unhealthy. I think it's a core component of any cuisine. What do y'all think about bacon? So, yes, we got the live show coming tomorrow. It's gonna be cool. We are both nurses, both from Texas, and we met in the Arctic Circle of Alaska. So now speaking of that, were you backpacking there, or were you on some sort of maybe not backpacking, but on some sort of other expedition? That's really cool. That's on my to-do list. I've only been to British Columbia, but I want to go to Alaska and go backpacking in the on the glaciers and all that stuff. I think it'd be really cool. There's polar bears up there, all sorts of big animals that can kill you. No, we were both working on a flight Let's see. Oh, cool. That's very cool. So when you're up in the Arctic Circle, do you see a lot of, what do you see? You see polar bears, and what other things do you see up there? I mean, obviously snow and ice. There's got to be a lot of that, I know. Walking through the abandoned parking lot. Yeah, it's just not safe to be on the road. We went all over even to Nome, moose, caribou. Oh, Nome, I bet you ran into, what are those people called? The gold people. Not Gold Rush, but the other ones. Nome, Alaska, where they filmed that Discovery Channel show. It's not Bering Sea Gold. Did you see any of the people from Bering Sea Gold when you were in Nome, Alaska? Haha. That sounds cool, man. That's a really caribou, man. You didn't see them. Oh man, how about they were hiding? I used to watch that show religiously. It was and then I did away with cable, and I didn't have Discovery Channel for a while because I didn't have cable, and now Discovery's released Discovery Plus, and I'm gonna have to start catching back up with that because they've really improved. I mean, it's great now that you can use their streaming service and see a lot of stuff. We did set up fishing line for the Iditarod and help feed the dogs. So the Iditarod is where they have the dog sleds and you race, right? You just get like a pack of dogs and they pull you around and you race. How many hours or how many days does it typically take the winner to make it to the finish line of the Iditarod? 1,300 plus moles. Ooh, holy moly. That's a lot of moles. You ever seen a mongoose? Oh, miles. Oh man, I bet those dogs are worn out. They get to the end like, man, what did I sign up for? Yeah, that is, man, that's intense. Super intense. Yeah, that would be cool though. I mean, that's one of the Iditarod's one of those things that a lot of people don't get to see, and that's super cool. I'm trying to think of crazy things that I've seen. We'll talk about crazy things. I've seen a UFO. Now that was way back when. That was back in, it's probably in the early 90s, and it was over the Gulf of Mexico. You're getting my exercise through you. It's a way to do it, man. I'm getting exercise too. I'm out here burning this fat off, talking to all of y'all. Fantastic. Can't beat it, man. Multitasking. So the Iditarod, what else? Now, this is going to sound like a really stupid question, but when you're in Alaska, is the Alaskan snow crab and the Alaskan king crab, is it really good there? Really good and fresh? I would assume it would be. Aurora Borealis was so cool. Speaking of the Aurora Borealis, there's this thing I was on the north end of Grand Cayman, close to Rum Point. And we got in these kayaks. Lots of awesome seafood. Oh man, I bet. I'd go to Alaska just to eat, man. Yeah, we were on the north shore of Cayman, Grand Cayman, and got in this kayak, and we strapped light sticks to our chest, and we paddled a mile or so into this lagoon. And once we got in there, when you were paddling, you could see light when you paddled. It was like green colored light below the water. And then when you went further into the lagoon, you could dip your hand in the water and you could hold your hand above your head and little glowing balls of light would run down your arm. It was very freaky. So basically what it is, there's only a few places in the world, and it was called Bioluminescent Bay. So it's a bunch of I guess you call them microorganisms, and they emit a glow, and it's just very cool. So if you're ever in Cayman Islands on the North Shore of Grand Cayman and Rum Point, get you a kayak, go into Bioluminescent Bay. Now I think it may be a seasonal thing. So I don't really know which month of the year it is, but it like the Aurora Borealis, it's kind of like the Aurora Borealis beneath the water, and it goes down your arms. It's really, really freaky. If I was a more confident swimmer, I probably would have jumped in the water and then went to shore and jumped up and down to see if like balls of light were falling across my entire body. And I'm sure they would be. So, that's one of those things, man. You just gotta, one of those weird things you gotta see to believe. I'm trying to think of any other weird stuff that let's think of odd things. Not odd, but like, the Iditarod. That's not too common of a thing. It's super cool. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, just weird things. So we were going down. Hold on one second, there's traffic coming, I'll tell you. So we were in Providenciales, which is in Turks and Caicos. I went ice diving under 5 feet of ice. Whoa, dude! I bet that was cool. Have you done ice fishing? I think I'd like the ice fishing more because I could stay on top and drink some beer, some cold beer, catch some fish, and then grill it up. I bet that's freaky though, being underneath ice, because if things shift and you can't get out, well, you're pretty much doomed. I mean, because it's not like you can. It's probably too thick to bust a new hole through, Wow, that takes you got to be pretty brave to do that, man. I was on the ice recovery. Oh, okay, so you're on the ice recovery team, so you got a crew there with you. It's not just like you went out and be like, hey man, let's see what's underneath this ice. It was more of a very team-oriented experience. That makes me feel better. It's not just like you were out in Nome and it's like, hey man, you hit up the little pub and you have some beers and then it's like, hey, we're gonna jump under this ice. Watch this. Yeah, that would be the start of a frightening journey right there. Yeah, I got size 12. Dan, size 12 US. United States. But yeah, we got on this boat. I made them put 2 ropes on me. They nicknamed me Two Top Tom. Two Top Tom. That's pretty cool, man. Trying to think. Let's see, the Providenciales thing. Two Rope Tom. There you go. We got Two Rope Tom on the show, everyone. First time that we've had Two Rope Tom. He is an ice diving celebrity, and he is most famous for being spotted in Nome, Alaska. And if you go into anywhere in Nome and you say, where is Two Rope Tom, they will point, and then there is Two Rope Tom out behind the restaurant underneath the ice, and he comes up and says, hey, it's Two Rope Tom. Dan, me too. You look like a big guy, so it makes the feet look small. Yeah, there you go. Hybrid Life / yes. Hybrid Life, it was good to have you and Trevor last night. Actually, tonight I've rescheduled the timepieces for tomorrow live show in favor of this show. So I wanted to get out and burn some fat. But I will be doing the timepieces for tomorrow live show tomorrow night for sure. And actually part of that was my, the grilling schedule, because I don't, when I'm grilling, I do like to do a live stream, and then it's a good thing. But I'm not grilling tonight, I'm exercising, so I figured I'd do this walk show. So man, let me think of some weird stuff. Oh, this was, this isn't weird, this was just kind of scary. So I was in, two things that were scary. The Providencialis went about 20 nautical miles offshore. Hybrid Life says, trying to get stocks and watches to 1 million subs. There you go, man. Hey, we can make that happen. We just gotta do some live shows, huh? Do some live shows, and yeah, that's a good good thing to do, man. Two Rope Tom is on with us. Hybrid Life, you've probably never met Two Rope Tom. He's a legend in Nome, Alaska, for sure. Oh yeah. I've walked 1.2 miles so far. Not a lot of distance, but speaking of that, we're doing some backpacking. Yeah, the Rockies are definitely greater elevation than the Appalachian Mountains, but I'm still going to be doing some backpacking around 6,000 feet, which is significant elevation. When you're that high in the mountains, every 1,000 feet you go up, the temperature drops by several degrees. I'd have to pull up my calculator. I think it's around, for every 1,000 feet, I think it's usually around, 7 degrees or so Fahrenheit. I'm in the state of Georgia in the United States of America. Yeah, I'm kind of back on the mainland. I've been in this this situation we're in globally. So the international voyages have been they've been put on hold just because it's too expensive and too inconvenient. You can't beat Texas, man. You got great barbecue. You got good people. What you don't have though is and you got Galveston, and I like Galveston and Apalachicola. Those are my two oyster places. I like oysters from the Gulf, and I like them raw in the half shell. That's the only way I'll eat them. Well, if I'm in some snooty place and they got the oysters Rockefeller, I'll eat those. I like them, but typically I want a couple dozen raw oysters on the half shell with homemade cocktail sauce, ketchup, horseradish, Worcestershire, Tabasco, fresh ground pepper, a little bit of sea salt, a little bit of garlic powder, and some lemon juice. Keep it simple and tasty, man. So yeah, Galveston, Texas. Oysters, oh man. Good stuff. Other than that, in Texas, you just got a bunch of flat fields and that sort of stuff, don't you? Not really a lot of terrain or anything. We graduated from college at UTMB. Okay. University of Texas. What's that stand for? University of Texas. Huh. But yeah, I was in Providencialis on a boat. It was just a go-fast boat, and headed out towards West Caicos, probably 20 miles or so offshore, and then a thunderstorm hit. Now, when you're in a go-fast boat and a thunderstorm hits, you probably don't have a top for that boat. So there wasn't much shelter at all. So there we are, the medical branch in Galveston. Oh, there you go. Very cool. Very cool. So far I've burned an estimated 200 calories, which is not enough. With a bowl of Dan says, Irix, you got me on that Breitling watches, that Super Ocean Heritage 242. Let's see. Special edition. I bought one since then. Big fan. I like Omega too. You know your stuff. You're a good man. Oh, very cool. Hey, man. And which, by the way, great choice with the Super Ocean Heritage 2 and 42. I know they got a 44 and a 46. 42 is where it's at. Which color did you go with? And did you go with the, did you get the shark mesh? Did you get the shark mesh bracelet for the Breitling? Yeah, that is a very, the thing about the Super Ocean Heritage 2, Dan, is that it's a very, well, it's still an under the radar piece. And by saying that, I mean, you see it. Oh, yes, Polsky, good memory. I am gonna walk past the rat's nest of Category 5 patch cable. That's coming up, so, oh, it's gonna be here soon. Which way are we gonna turn? Oh, black and shark mesh, classic. Black, shark mesh, and 42 mil. You can't beat it, man. I don't want to guarantee, obviously I can't guarantee, but I'm willing to speculate that we're gonna see, the only thing that's kept the Super Ocean Heritage 2, the price of it suppressed, is that there's so many of them on the gray market. And it's, you know, also Breitling is easy to get discounts at retail. So, but I think once, because allegedly it's I think it's a limited edition, allegedly. I think once the available stock kind of dries up, I think that's a piece, especially the 42 black and the 42 blue. I think those are two pieces that are probably going to see continued appreciation going forward. I think it's a future classic. I really do. And it's not, you know, when you look at it, it's not like, oh, that's a Breitling. You know, it's got its own identity. And it's just, you know, it's a great wear anywhere piece, especially on that shark mesh. And I tell you, you probably realized how comfortable it is. I mean, that's arguably one of my most comfortable bracelets. Now, you also mentioned you like Omega, and Breitling being seller box. Don't forget to hydrate. I'm getting thirsty watching. Oh man, that's good. Yeah, I'm gonna hydrate with some Natty Lights when I get back to the studio. Hard to find, yeah, because you go into most any authorized dealer, and the authorized dealer that I went in St. Thomas, Charlotte Amali, you know, they know me there, so it's not like they're trying to sell me something like anybody else on the street. But they did, without trying to sell me, they did encourage me to try on the 44. So when I got my 42, I tried on the 44. And by the way, there's subtle differences. It's not just the size. If you look at the dial of the 42 and the 44, there's subtle differences on the dial. I forget what they all are, but I mean, it's not a big deal, but it's just something that at a quick glance, you probably wouldn't notice because you're looking at the different size. I will say the 44 fit my 7.5 inch wrist really well, but out of principle, I could never allow myself to purchase, because I did buy it at the authorized dealer and I got a good discount. Yeah, the date color is different. There you go. That's what it is. And even though it was great, I knew that, you know, the sweet spot arguably today for most men's sports watches is between 39 millimeters and 42. And you can push it to 44, but I would say arguably the most common range is 39 to 42. So picking something up at an authorized dealer Obviously, I negotiated a discount because I do a lot of business with them. But, you know, picking that up, I wanted to make sure that I had something that, you know, 10, 20 years down the road, say I didn't still like it, which I'm sure I will. But if I don't, you know, that 42 millimeter is easy to trade or sell, because that's the most desired size. And that's why when you go into the ADs or anywhere or gray market, you're going to find that the 44s and the 46s are more plentiful. Polsky had an interesting comment, and by the way, Polsky, I'm coming up on the wire nest, so we're going to investigate that. Polsky says, is Breitling the next Richard Mille? Hey, it's a possibility. Yeah, that would be good for Breitling holders, you know. I'm not a fan, again, and Hybrid Life made a good point during the Timepieces for Tomorrow live show last night, that, you know, until you've handled a Richard Mille, you can't appreciate it. And that's a fair statement. I've never handled one. I mean, you know, I kind of, you know, I've just never been around anywhere that had them. So, but, you know, that's a fair statement. But, yeah, I really like, let's see, Dan, you mentioned Omega. What do you like? Do you like the Seamaster, the Speedmaster, the Seamaster? What are your Omegas of choice? Because they're great. And I tell you, I see their appreciation, especially with the Speedmasters. Those things are getting to be, well, I wish I had purchased the, yeah, Polsky, I think if I did that, I wouldn't go with RM. I would go with Paddock or Vacheron. I think the Breitling customer service is great. I had a great experience with them. They never even charged me. Well, it's interesting you say that, because I had, with my Super Avenger, I got it in 2009 and got it from the same authorized dealer in St. Thomas. And I had an issue with it. It was my first Breitling chronograph / chronometer. Oh, here comes that's what's coming up here. Look at this. We got the wiring nest. Look at that. They just put their Cat 5 on the street like a bunch of idiots. They've even got a Keystone jack right there. Look at that. Keystone jack. And then they got a Bear RJ45 sitting over there. It's crazy. But yeah, so I had a good experience with Breitling USA warranty repair as well, because, you know, the Super Avenger, even though it has pushers, and they're not screw down pushers, it does have a significant stated water resistance. So, you know, even though I wasn't engaging the pushers while in the pool, it somehow managed to leak. And obviously the crown was screwed down. The pushers were not being engaged. So the fact that it leaked was disappointing. I sent it to Breitling USA, no questions asked, no fee. It was repaired free of charge under the international warranty. So it was a great experience. Now, that piece will never touch the water again. And honestly, I would, with it, you know, 47 millimeters is huge in today's standards, but I kind of want to keep it because, you know, like everything else, you know, whether it's wristwatches or any other type collectible, you know, trends come and go. So who knows, 10 years from now, people may want the large, oversized watches again, like Panerais and the Super Avengers. Let's see, we got Dan says, Irix, I have triple date from early 90s, very nice. Have Seamaster DeVille, early 70s, 18 karat feel. Speaking of that, that's one of the things about the Omegas that I didn't like, is that a lot of them, they use the plating. They don't use, well, and even actually Rolex, until the most recent references, they didn't have solid end links. So, you know, if I'm getting a precious metals piece, I want something that's solid. And I don't even have a precious metals piece, but something I want to add after I achieve 100,000 subscribers here on this channel. So, let's see. And then Dan says, I would like a moon watch and a 300 professional. I've got the 300M Blue Wave dial pre-coaxial. It's a great piece. It's held up like a tank. I really like it. It's got the aluminum bezel. Seamaster, the only thing is, now I like the ones that have the different bracelets, but the traditional bracelet like I have that doesn't taper, it's just kind of, when you put it on your wrist, you get used to having the tapered bracelets on your other watches, and it kind of makes it feel really dated. But it's one of those, it's continued to go up in value. I would never sell or trade it, but yeah, see, what I want is a moon watch. And actually, when I bought the Breitling Super Ocean Heritage 242, also had the moon watch, not the Hessel, well, they had the Hesselite, the actual moon watch, but they had the sapphire version. And I was torn between it and the 42 millimeter Breitling. And as dumb as it sounds, and I love the Breitling, by the way, but I went with the Breitling because it came in a smaller box. The Moonwatch box is huge, and I was coming back from St. Thomas, and I was going to carry so much liquor from the duty free that I was like, well, if I get the Moonwatch, the Mega Speedmaster, I'm going to have that huge box, and I won't be able to take as much liquor. So I got the Super Ocean Heritage 2 that came in a really small box, and I brought back a bunch of liquor. So yeah, that was kind of why that happened like that. Let's see. Polsky says, RM and Paddock just flex on people so hard. Everyone has Steel Sports. Well, that's true. Yeah, what is it with the boxes? Well, here's the thing, especially with the Omega, with the Speedmaster in particular, the box is super important because you want to have the full set. If you ever traded or sold, a collector is going to want that. Not so much with other pieces. I mean, I think people could care less about the Super Ocean Heritage 2's box. I mean, yeah, I'm the same way, Dan. And I've got them, stacked up. It's just, but you want to keep it because if you ever sell or trade, number one, you got the full set. So you got the box, you got the papers. In the case of the Super Ocean Heritage 2, it came with that, at least mine came with that digital card, which was kind of cool because they activated it. I'm sure they did yours too in the AD. They activated your international warranty, and they made a big show about it with the digital card. And of course, while they were doing that, I was just enjoying the free rum and beer. Throwing the box away is like throwing money away. Yeah, no doubt. It's not something you can replace. They discontinue a watch. Well, that watch box is, since you don't like boxes and I don't like them either, have you ever thought about, you could always, not your papers, but if you knew there was a piece that absolutely you would never sell or trade, you could probably put your box on an online auction site and sell it, because there's probably someone that's trying to sell or trade their piece and they don't have a full set. And that they would probably be inclined to pay top dollar for that box just so they can more easily sell their piece. But then that puts you in the situation they're in, because if you did ever decide to sell or trade, then you don't have a complete set. And then we got, let's see, throwing the box away is like throwing money away. Dan, I like rum and free beers. And then, ooh, did I just step in dog poop? No. Polsky, if anyone doesn't like their box, Polsky says, if anyone doesn't like their box, you can give it to me. And then Dan says, it's crazy, sell the box. Yeah, but people want that. I mean, and obviously at this point in time, the Super Ocean Heritage 2 isn't at the level where that box is a big deal, but it could be in the future. And then also but the Moonwatch, that's super important, because there's some people, the Moonwatch is something that's probably always going to continue to appreciate because it's got the story behind it. It's kind of the core Omega, and it was the first watch on the moon. I mean, that's not something any other watch brand can say. So I think, again, and never investment advice, but I think that the Moonwatch is a piece that is good to have in everybody's collection. And I wish that I had added one sooner, because now the prices are already starting to go through the stratosphere. And there's also talks about Omega maybe pulling out of a lot of boutiques. So Omega may only be sold in the near future through Omega stores. I missaid that. Omega may be doing, maybe limiting sales of Omega watches through their own Omega branded boutiques, and not stores now that are authorized dealers where you can go in, you may see Omega. Like one of my authorized dealers in St. Kitts, they sell Omega, Ulysses Nardin, Tudor. I mean, they've got across the board brands. Polsky says, what's a better investment, watches or GME and AMC stock? I don't know. Man, I've kind of, with the stock stuff, the only thing I've fiddled with, and again, I'm a big penny stock guy, but the only thing I've really fiddled with recently are just REITs, real estate investment trusts. Just trying to load up on those, because they pay, at least currently, the ones that I get, they pay a really hefty dividend. And that's, I mean, I know it's not but I mean, for the long haul, it's something that may become significant. How much does a Moonwatch run? Well, it depends. At Home with Tom and Rhonda Howard, if you're doing, if you're getting the complete set, the box of papers, the warranty card, the condition, the you know, you're buying from the gray market or you're buying new from an authorized dealer, how well can you negotiate? I mean, now, I mean, gosh, those things are, again, it depends on the reference, but I think the Hesalite, and I don't have it up in front of me, I haven't checked in a few months, but I mean, it was around 5 or 6, man. I mean, and I remember back when I got my Breitling Super Avenger in 2009, that I could have picked up a Moonwatch new in the box from the authorized dealer for probably around $2,000. I mean, they've rocketed, and part of what's driving it, in my opinion, is that, you know, people that want a Daytona, and now you can't even find those anywhere. You know, gray market, they're just like insanely overpriced. So people are looking for other alternatives, and you know, obviously the Moonwatch has a great history. It's got the chronograph like the Daytona, so it's an alternative that a lot of people are flocking after now. Yeah, Daytonas are awesome, but there's some people that will say Daytonas, and talk about the ceramic ones. Now, if I was getting a Daytona, I would get a Panda or reverse Panda, stainless steel. You know, keep it simple. But there's a lot of people that with the ceramic Daytonas, they think they wear a little bit too large. Now, I would love one. But the people that think that a Daytona wears too large, they might pick up a Moonwatch, and it may be, you know, just right on their wrist. So, you know, everybody's different. And I'll tell you, I've gone from big to small. You know, I used to wear, again, I wore that Super Avenger. I got it in 2009. I wore it, well, I'd worn the Omega Seamaster 300M before that, because that was the only real wristwatch I had, which is a great watch. And then I started wearing the Super Avenger, and then I couldn't really think about anything smaller than, you know, when I went below about 44, it started to feel small because I was used to the Super Avenger. And then I started wearing Submariner in 40 mil. So, you know, the fact that I had that Super Avenger and wore it for so many years, almost exclusively, made any wristwatch that I tried on feel too small. And in reality, they weren't. It was just because in my mind, I was thinking that things were small in contrast to that huge 47 millimeter Super Avenger. So I passed up on a lot of really huge watch finds, watch bargains in the Caribbean, that had I not had that in my mind that, oh, they're small, because I'm used to wearing a 47 millimeter, that I could have gotten some cool stuff. But who would have seen this Rolex shortage coming? Who would have seen any of this coming? I mean, if you could look back, let's just say let's not even go that far back. Let's just go back to 2000. So if you had forward-looking vision, you could have hypothetically stocked up on Rolexes at discounts, because you could get discounts back then, significant discounts. And if you sold them or traded them today, you'd be making bank, man. But I'm a collector. I don't like to buy or sell. Let's see. I'm reading back in the comments here. Tommy Lee Jones wore that one in astronaut film. Can't remember the name. Reitz Boomer. Daytonas are so beautiful. If you think Daytona wears too large, you probably need a ladies' watch. Very true. I love Omega bracelet watches. Too obvious, obviously. It's like Breitling AR coatings. Yeah, the Breitling, and I don't know if you know this, but the current reference Submariner uses AR coating, but they don't apply it on the outside of the sapphire like Breitling does. And you know, I've never had, I don't know if you've had your AR coating scratch. I've got hairline scratches in my Super Avenger, but at least in my, and I can only see them if I really closely inspect it in the right light, but on the Super Ocean Heritage 2, I haven't noticed any scratches in the sapphire. Well, Polsky, great question. Favorite Caribbean AD? Well, it depends on what I'm after. So for, let's see, we'll just go through brands here. So if I'm in the Caribbean and I'm looking for Ulysses Nardin, honestly, I'm going to go to Ulysses Nardin or Tudor. I'm going to go to Colors Duty Free, and that's in Port Zonte, St. Kitts. Really good people, really super nice people there. If I'm looking for Breitling, I'm going to go to Little Switzerland in Charlotte Amalie Waterfront in St. Thomas. If I'm looking for Omega, I'm going to go to the same place. Really good people there too. If I'm looking for Rolex, I'm going to go to Kirk Freeport in Grand Cayman, in Georgetown, right on the waterfront. Really good people. Used to have a huge selection. I mean, when I bought my sub 114060, they had Batman in the case, they had Daytona in the case, they had the Hulk in the case. This was back before everything was in short supply. I could have gotten anything. They were loaded with stock. And they didn't try to steer me away from what I wanted, because I was adamant about the Submariner, you know, the original Submariner with no date, because I knew it had the best dial symmetry. I knew that the design is timeless. It doesn't have, I mean, it's black, you know. I typically stay with monochromatic, not all the time. I mean, I do have a lot of blue pieces, and even in the Ulysses Nardin, it's burgundy. But for most collectors, if you want to be safer, if you stay with monochromatic, black and white, you're probably safer. And the reason is that those colors are, there's some collectors that only collect those colors. And it's something that will probably appeal to anyone. You know, it's just a timeless, simple, no questions asked look. And that's important, especially if you think you might trade or you think you might sell. And that's never my intent. You know, I'm not going into this as an investment. A lot of people do. And that's fine. I mean, everybody's got their own agenda, and if that's your agenda, that's great. But you know, take that into consideration. You know, don't, if you're looking for possible investment potential, again, you should never consider a wristwatch to be an investment. But you know, typically the core references, you know, just because it's a Rolex or just because it's Omega or just because it's a Patek doesn't mean that it's good. You know, there's dogs in every brand. And Rolex is a little bit different because they have the fewest amount of perceived dogs. Now, Breitling, on the other hand, has a lot. And Omega has a considerable amount too. So you got to be careful. Dan says, love the Caribbean, man. Mexico, Pacific Coast, beautiful too, good fishing. Watches are probably better than Reitz. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you look at, and again, we'll do it in the studio, during timepieces for tomorrow, live show tomorrow night. But I'll have to pull up the charts for some of these core references. I mean, the increase annually is nuts. Because see, there's several things. There's a supply issue, but then there's also the annual increases. You know, most of these brands increase the price, if not for most models, for most references, they often increase the price across the range. You know, some greater percentage increase than others. You know, so you've got that bumping the price up annually. And then you've got the supply bumping it up. And then you've got items that are, or references that are discontinued. Look at the Hulk, for example. You know, the green Submariner with ceramic. That thing's gone through the roof. And I could have picked that up when I got my no-date sub. I could have picked it up within hundreds of dollars of what I paid for the no-date sub. But again, I wasn't looking for investment potential. I was looking for what I wanted that would, you know, just never go out of style and always be iconic. And that's why I went with the, you know, the sub no-date. But yeah, I mean, it's man, I tell you, it's an interesting, it's an addictive obsession. Let's put it that way. And I know a lot of us are obsessed with it. I mean, that's why, you know, wristwatches are something that are never going to go out of style. Let's see. Dan says, I have Breitling Windrider cockpit. It has ETA chronometer. The case details amazing. Dial, pilot brace. Yeah, I saw one of those in actually in St. Thomas in Charlotte Amalie. They're very cool looking. Breitling has some impressive pieces, man. You know, I tell you, it's just there for a while. They went for that enormous size, and I know that was the trend at the time, and it may circle back around. But and we were talking about the other night. Actually, I think it was you. The what are we calling it? The not almond, pistachio green Breitling. That thing looks incredible, and it's 40 mil. It's the right size. That's a great piece. I have not seen one of those in the flesh, but the next time I'm down in at my authorized dealer in St. Thomas, I'm gonna check that one out. That looks incredible. That's what I really need is a dress watch on a leather strap, and that's something I don't have currently. I've got the Jaeger LeCoultre on a stainless. I could swap it over to a leather strap and deploy it. Polsky, my next piece, like I said, I got to get to 100,000 subscribers first, but I'm not an all precious metals watch kind of dude. I just think they're a little bit too flashy, and I think they're a little bit too delicate. But what I would like would be the root beer, you know, the GMT, the current reference in ceramic. I think that's you know, in pictures it doesn't look that great, but in person it's phenomenal. I'd either go with that or a bluesy. My second choice would be the bluesy Submariner, and the only reason there is that, well, it's got the, you know, it's two-tone, so I still get the somewhat rugged wear anywhere, but I get the gold in it. Yeah, Dan wants a Breitling and the B01 movement. It's funny you said that. That is something, you know, back when this virus hit, there were some awesome deals for several of the B01 pieces, and I regret missing out on that. But you know, I had other things at the time. Oh yeah, Pepsi. I would take a stainless Coke, or actually a stainless Pepsi, because they don't have the Coke in ceramic yet. I like the current. I like the current references just because of the bracelets with the glide lock. I like, you know, and the solid end links. But if they bring a Coke out in ceramic, I think that's gonna, yeah, that would be, you know, even without, you know, even all stainless, I'd be happy with that. But yeah, it's not, yeah, and I want the root beer, but you know, I kind of want something on a Jubilee. I may even consider a date just on a Jubilee. I think that'd be a cool option too. I know, you know, there for a while they were plentiful. I don't have a Batgirl. You know, I told you when I got my Submariner, that they had the Batgirl. Oh no, they didn't have the Batgirl. They had the Batman, because at that time they didn't have the Batman on the Jubilee bracelet, the Batgirl. So, but yeah, I like that one. I think it looks really nice. And that, not even, you know, that just being a stainless piece is fine. But I still want something with, you know, a little bit of gold in it, a two-tone. So probably the next one will be, you know, a two-tone piece. Everything is bigger in Texas. I like Texas, good folks. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, Texas is cool. It really is. So I burned an estimated 400 calories, so this isn't bad. I mean, it's not good. I mean, I need to get out and run and ride a bike. But at least this is Switch Gray Dealer. You know, I'm not big into the gray market. Nothing wrong with the gray market, but I like the authorized dealers because I get full set with international warranty, and I don't have any. I have zero authenticity concerns. And also, you know, it's just, you know, again, it's the experience of going and buying it and getting the free booze and you know, and having that warranty card with your name on it, and having you know, having your name on the warranty card and having the location where it was purchased is pretty cool. So. But I tell you, gray market, I mean, some, you know, and God, gray prices have gone through the roof, and that's one reason I wouldn't do gray market right now. Yeah, you wouldn't see a root beer sitting in an AD, but like I said, I do have relationships with some of the authorized dealers. So when I hit 100,000 subscribers, and by the way, subscribe, share, and feel free to super chat if you want to. When I hit 100,000 subscribers, that's something I'm going to be aggressively pursuing. So hopefully I'll be, you know, I know I can get on a waiting list. How long would that waiting list be? I mean, it's hard to say. But yeah, man, Dan, I'm over 40, man. I'm getting old, but I'm trying to combat the fat, you know. Just because I'm old doesn't mean I don't need to work out. Got to work out harder, man. Keep burning the calories, man. Oh yeah. Yep, something to be said for authorized dealers. Yeah, it's, but I tell you, a gray market and they used to have deals, and now, as the way prices have gone up, you really can't get a deal. And Polsky, almost 30, man, that's young. Yeah, Joma Shop was good. I mean, back, you could buy below retail many years ago. And I say Joma Shop's good just because they've been around for so long, and they're, you know, they've got, from what I've seen, they've got a pretty good reputation. Dan says you're 59. Oh, that's getting up there, but it's still young. It's you know, if you allow yourself to feel old, you can feel old. That's why I keep myself busy and don't allow myself to feel old. That's the best way to do it. But well, everyone, we're 59 minutes in. Like I said, be sure to mark your calendars. You know, just head on over to my main page, youtube.com/IrixGuy, or go to timepiecesfortomorrow.com, and you can set a reminder for tomorrow night's live show. Now, Polsky says, do you like rubber straps? I've got a rubber strap on my PAM 112. I like it for swimming. Yeah, I would never buy you know, when I'm Panerai an exception. I'll get it I got it with the rubber and the leather, but I would never buy a piece with rubber. I would always buy a stainless bracelet and then add rubber aftermarket later. I don't know, and with Panerai it's fine, but you know, like on a Rolex or an Omega or something like that, I think, and I know a lot of people like it, and I don't mean this in an insulting way, but I think it just cheapens it up. I think it definitely does. So I mean, I don't know. Rubber straps just aren't really my thing, man. They're really not. But on that note, yeah, let's everybody tune in tomorrow night. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Deeply appreciate it. And stay tuned to my channel. I'm going to be doing some silver coin reviews. So some really silly videos where you can see some coins. So thanks for your viewership. Be safe. And we'll see y'all tomorrow night on the live show. Have a good one.